Welcome back to Cyhawk-Game Day. Well, Iowa State got another dominant win in Week 3 over Ohio, getting off to their first 3-0 start since 2012. So let's take a look at how that one unfolded.
Iowa State trying to get off to their first 3-0 start since 2012. How about Hunter Dekkers faking out the defense and taking this one in himself to get the Cyclones on the board? They go up 7-0 in the first. Later in the first, Dekkers fires to the middle of the end zone to Deshaun Hanukkah. That'll make it 14-0 Cyclones. The defense was feasting on these Ohio quarterbacks. Ryan Vance just swallows Rourke up, and that's good for a sack and a fumble recovered by MJ Anderson inside the Ohio 10-yard line. Second quarter, Cyclones up 17-0. The guys in the ISU secondary just waiting for their turn to play takeaway. Anthony Johnson Jr. goes up and away, snags this ball out of the air for the pick. They'd be able to turn that into points. Deion Silas hits pay dirt and extends the lead to 24 after the extra point. Later in the quarter, Hunter Dekkers finds Sean Shaw, a guy who's struggled with injuries over the past few years, finally back healthy. He takes this one in for the score, and his teammates showing him all the love, including Matt Campbell there on the sidelines, also getting in on the action. A new quarterback would enter the game for the Bobcats, but it wouldn't matter. 4 sacks on the day for Iowa State. They'd roll past the Bobcats, 43-10 the final.
You know, we can be happy being 3-0. I'm not. I still feel like there's so much proof of who we can be and what we need to become if we're willing to get there.
Well, through the first 3 weeks, Iowa State has looked really good, beating teams that they're pretty much supposed to beat. But what have we learned from the Cyclones through these first 3 weeks?
Well, a lot of the talent they were having to replace, Breece Hall, Brock Purdy, Charlie Kolar, Mike Rose, all these guys that have multi-year All-Americans or multi-year All-Conference players, NFL players, they've replaced them. They've been able to do things, whether it's with Hunter Dekkers at quarterback, whether it's Gyro Brock at running back, or Colby Reeder at linebacker. They've been able to replace all the production they've had for the past few years, and that's kind of been the most impressive thing. The other thing that we've seen is that there's been a lot more depth than what has existed at Iowa State, probably in program history, because of how well Iowa State has recruited over the last 5 or so years. They're able to take, well, last week you got a starting safety in Bo Freiler who can't play. You put in a replacement, don't miss a beat. You've got the capacity to now replace guys, which is a lot different. Now, another thing that we've seen is that young teams tend to do dumb stuff. Well, Iowa State is perfectly capable of doing dumb stuff. They've had extra points blocked. They've had punts blocked. Last week against Ohio, they had a big run by Gyro Brock and immediately fumbled the next snap. So they're able to do dumb stuff, which is kind of the hallmarks of a young team. But the good news on that stuff is it's correctable. The bad news is you're playing one of the best teams in the country walking into Ames, Iowa this Saturday. So those things got to get corrected, and they got to get corrected fast. But they are an explosive team, they're a deep team, and they're a talented team, much more than I think most people expected them to be.
Yeah, and I think Matt Campbell summed it up really well in his post-game presser, saying we could be happy being 3-0, but I see the potential of the growth that this team still has to go, especially once you get, like you said, into conference play. Starting off with Baylor, you can't make those mistakes, but I think they know that, and I think that will serve them well going into this.
Yeah, and the Big 12, there's, we joke, you're a K-State alum, I'm an Iowa State alum. We kind of like when Kansas is awful because it sort of gives you that bye week in the middle of the year. Well, Kansas isn't awful anymore. Every team in the Big 12 is good and capable of beating any other team in the Big 12. So if you do that dumb stuff, the fumbles, the blocked stuff in special teams, those things are going to get you beat throughout the year. So yeah. I think so far through the season, you don't want a perfect no turnovers, no mistakes, because it's hard to learn from that. Right. But you got 3 wins, and you got a lot of stuff to teach from and learn from. So I think it's kind of a perfect preseason going into the Big 12 season that 3 wins, did it really well, made it through mostly healthy, but now you can correct those mistakes and become even better.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to take another quick break, but when we come back, we will preview the conference openers for both Iowa and Iowa State.